When Lu Jun traveled to Bashu, he casually bought a white tiger pendant that originated from the white tiger totem and was forced to travel to the world of full-time mages. This is the parallel time and space of the blue star, with dazzling magic and demons rampant. You can understand it even without reading the original work. Gradually unfolding the settings, he fused his dual origins, awakened his innate talent for dual lineages, and wielded the unprecedented gold lineage. Faced with the invasion of demons, the human race was in a precarious situation but constantly engaged in internal strife. Lu Jun stood on top of the holy city and said awkwardly, "I am the king of the world. Who agrees and who opposes me?" Even if carrying the abyss and needing to support the holy city with one hand, our Lord Lu is still invincible in the world. Sword. The 7 great angels below were nailed to death on the city wall with a sword, which was shocking, and the remains of the 7 red-clothed bishops lay on the road. P.S. In the case of prioritizing the safety of the protagonist, try to save the tragic characters in the original work, such as Hiyu, Su Xiaoting, Jiang Feng, etc. There is a female lead who does not dismantle the original works Mo Mu and Mo Yi CP except for 2, the magic department is different from Mo Fan, and each development path has its own unique characteristics. Keywords of the novel. Full-time mage. Starting from obtaining the white tiger pendant without pop-ups, full-time mage. Starting from obtaining the white tiger pendant, download the complete text. Full-time mage. Starting from obtaining the white tiger pendant, read the latest chapters. Chapter 1. Crossing the Whole Method. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. Chapter 1. Crossing the Whole Method. Lu Jun has traveled and arrived in the world where full-time mages are located. Damn it, a parallel spacetime similar to a blue star, with demons and magic dominating the sky. Even if humans are at an absolute disadvantage, they continue to engage in internal strife, ranking among the top in terms of danger among many worlds. He sighed and lowered his head to touch his necklace pendant. It was a metal object, all white gold in color, resembling a white tiger lying on its back, emitting a radiance that felt cold and hard to the touch. This is a white tiger pendant purchased by Lu Jun during his trip to Bashu from the Baihulong Linjun Mausoleum scenic area. The 4 sacred beasts, Qinglong, Baihu, Xuanwu, and Zhuke, are considered the highest in the legend of Blue Star, and among full-time mages, it is also worth giving in to the existence of the world ceiling, which is friendly to humans. The protagonist of the original timeline, Mo Fan, had a blue dragon pendant that looked like a black loach, but gradually transformed into an absolute golden finger. The vermilion bird totem was also absorbed and refined by Mo Fan, gathering the power of the 2 totems. With this, the world was saved. In addition, the Xuanwu totem declined for a long time and was inherited by a supporting role, but the white tiger totem simply did not appear. I didn't expect to have chosen him now. I just want a replica to post and show off, but who would have thought you could give me an authentic one? Lu Jun was speechless, and Mo Fan only traveled through it after obtaining the green dragon pendant. Without any accidents, he also traveled to the same body in parallel time and space after obtaining the white tiger pendant. This pendant is probably the golden finger of this life, and it is expected to inherit the power of the white tiger totem with it. Fortunately, in his past life, he was alone and helpless, with one person eating enough and the whole family not hungry. He had no worries, but when he came to this world, he said it was bad, but in reality, his heart was restless. He had extraordinary abilities and magic, and who wouldn't want to control it? This is probably the reason why he traveled without any panic. White Tiger Pendant. TSK, Mo Fan started with the green dragon pendant and grew to the point of ruthlessly beating the unjust world. So why can't I just act on my own will? Lu Jun breathed a long sigh of relief. Perhaps Mo Fan had various flaws in his personality, such as being lascivious and pretending to be arrogant, but his heroic spirit could not be suppressed. He always pursued simple justice in his heart, which brought about various disasters. Lu Jun, come down for dinner. Suddenly, a gentle female voice came from downstairs, causing Lu Jun's face to stiffen slightly, and his heroic spirit to burst out. Before that, he had to learn to get along with his family first. Lu Jun pursed his lips, and no one expected that he would travel through time to give away a cheap sister without blood ties. Originally from a combined family, his parents were both beginner magicians. 7 or 8 years ago, he was buried in the mouth of a demon during a mission, and this sister pulled him up. However, because of his identity, his temper, personality, thoughts, and even his behavior habits in life are almost the same. In other words, he is the original body, but he has awakened the memory of the previous life a while ago. I graduated from junior high school this year at the age of 15, and the 15 years of life are vivid in my mind. I have been supporting each other and relying on each other for my livelihood. I quickly got used to it. In the upstairs room, Lu Jun looked in the mirror and saw a reflection of a young man with black hair. Although his appearance was slightly immature, he could see his handsome future. He was wearing black and white short-sleeved shorts and a white tiger pendant hanging around his neck. Born from the heart, even after crossing time, I am still as handsome as in my past life. Alright, come right away, Lu Jun replied to his sister while feeling smug organizing his appearance, carefully tucking the white tiger pendant into his chest and collar. He walked down the old wooden ladder. Although his parents had passed away, he had some assets as a magician, leaving behind a 3-story, 100-square-meter small house and some savings. Otherwise, 7 or 8 years ago, he was only 7 or 8 years old, and his sister Lu Mei was 5 years older than him, only 12 or 13 years old. They didn't have the ability to be financially independent, so how could they survive? Over the years, as Lu Mei grew up and became a beginner wizard, joining the city demon hunting team was not afraid to sit and eat empty mountains. When he went downstairs, he saw his sister on the sofa, mature and charming in appearance, tall and hot in stature, with slender waist and full buttocks, exaggerated curves, and astonishing elasticity when squeezed onto the sofa. She leaned against the pillow, half lying down, her loose clothes unable to conceal the delicate white grease under her collarbone. Her chest was full and round, and she was about to burst out. She also had a pair of slender and plump big white legs resting on the armrest, her white and tender jade feet swaying, her toes sparkling and round, and her vermilion nails bright and seductive. Upon seeing this, Lu Jun was slightly stunned and lost consciousness for a moment. He swallowed his saliva and sat at the table, frantically cooking. Lu Mei glanced at her own cheap younger brother and felt quite strange. This stinky kid usually takes the initiative to rub her legs when he sees her bumpy. Why hasn't she been behaving well these days? It's fortunate that she cooks as a mother every day, earns money to support the family, and doesn't know how to reward herself. She suddenly remembered how her younger brother had been preoccupied for a few days, seeming to understand something. He lay on the sofa with his elbows propped up, his jade hands supporting his chin, and a strand of ink hair hanging on the edge of his stunning face. He blinked his beautiful eyes and said, "Are you worried about the awakening of magic?" Sister comforted and said, "You have all been admitted to Tianlan School, the first magic high school in Bucheng with excellent grades. You really can't awaken to magic. If it's not big, sister, I will take care of you for a lifetime." Lu Jun lifted his head from his rice bowl and saw that Lu Mei's body was enchanting. His heart skipped a beat, as if no girl could resist a single word of, "I'll take care of you," and no boy could resist the elder sister's care. Well, he never worried about awakening magic. The white tiger pendant is related to the highest power in this world, and even without talent, one can develop a magical talent. What he was worried about was the disaster in Bucheng 3 years later. That's right, the location where Lu Jun lives happened to be the starting point map of the protagonist. At the beginning of the original timeline, he inquired and found out that there was indeed a young man named Mo Fan who entered Tianlan High School through the back door. He happened to be in the same class as him, and the gears of fate began to turn. Bucheng is a small southern city located near the outskirts of the Yangtze River Delta metropolitan area, with a population of nearly 1 million and only a few high-level magicians. But 3 years later, he was invaded and destroyed by demons. Lu Jun knew there was a secret behind it, which was a conspiracy created by one of the ultimate bosses that runs through the entire world, the Black Sect. The Black Church is a group of madmen who destroy the world, a dark force within humanity without reason and logic. This calamity was the most powerless moment for Mo Fan, including the current Lu Jun, and it was difficult to turn everything around. However, after thinking for a moment, Lu Jun realized that 3 years is too long. Let's take a step and see what happens before the disaster strikes. On the surface, he smiled and said to his sister, "It's okay, my parents are all wizards, and there's a high chance that I'll wake up." Lu Mei stopped and said with a look of, "I understand, you don't need to be under pressure. Your sister and I are about to break through the ranks of mid-level wizards. I might as well give you more than those arrogant people who have entered university. It will be easy to take care of you then." Lu Jun pursed his lips, thinking inwardly that when I unleash my power on the white tiger pendant, it's not certain who will take care of who. Of course, he knew that his sister was just joking to relieve his psychological pressure. Tomorrow is the opening ceremony and the moment of awakening. End of this chapter. Chapter 2. Mo Fan and Zhang Xiaohou. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 2. Mo Fan and Zhang Xiaohou. Early in the morning, Lu Jun woke up. He saw his sister preparing a hot breakfast in the living room on the first floor, while I was gnawing on bread and watching a drama. Lu Mei did not attend the University of Witchcraft and Wizardry, or in other words, it was not easy for her to enter an institution in the wizarding world. She became a social mage after high school and joined the demon hunting team for 2 years. She usually does not open, but only opens for 6 months. He was basically idle at home, which made him envious. To be honest, as long as he awakened his magic, he could live a very fulfilling life in various countries and places around the world. The world of full-time mages lacks technology, and modern things such as mobile phones and trams are all built on the principle of magic. Magicians are divided into 5 major levels: beginner level, intermediate level, high level, super level, and legendary forbidden spells. They are simple and easy to understand. But there are many series, with elemental magic, dimensional magic, white magic, and black magic as the 4 major categories. The latter 3 are not mentioned for now, and it is almost impossible to awaken in the first series, which is extremely rare. Elemental magic alone has 7 series. Earth, fire, wind, water, thunder, ice, and light. Earth is the Earth series, also known as the Rock series. Beginner-level mages are newly awakened and usually can only have 1 faction. They only add an additional faction when they break through the middle level, and then add another faction when they reach the higher level. That is to say, for everyone in the world, if they have completed the forbidden spell, there can be at most 5 types of magic. Each series is separate, and the second series of newly awakened mid-level mages must start from the beginner level and start practicing again until the mid-level. I don't know what kind of lineage I will awaken, what kind of talent I have, will there be a natural dual lineage? Lu Jun pondered that under this system, the only exception is innate talent, similar to various constitutions in fantasy novels, such as the protagonist Mo Fan, who is born with dual lineages, or more precisely, each level with dual lineages. There are 2 primary lineages, 4 intermediate lineages, and so on. He is very optimistic. If he has strong talent, there will be strong ways to live, and if he awakens in the magic department, there will be ordinary ways to live. After breakfast, Lu Jun shouted, "Sister, I'm going to school." Wait a moment. Upon hearing this, Lu Mei stood up and took a few steps towards her younger brother, with a bright smile on her face. Lu Jun's face turned slightly red. His sister was too tall, almost 1.8 meters tall. Suddenly, his body leaned forward and before he could react, he had fallen into a warm and soft embrace. A faint fragrance wafted into his nose, and his sister's breath and encouraging voice came to his ears. "Come on, everything is mine." Lu Jun was initially confused and gradually calmed down, with the phrase, "wealthy and generous," floating in his mind. Unconsciously, her hands rested on Lu Mei's flexible waist, and the curvature of her buttocks made it effortless to hang her hands on it. She lowered her head and let out a muffled "hmm." Originally, Lu Mei looked affectionately and gently at her younger brother, but then she felt something was wrong. Feeling itchy and strange, she lowered her head to look at this stinky guy, her face tinged with a blush, and she said angrily, "Get up." Hee hee. Lu Jun left his sister's warm embrace with embarrassment. Farewell to Lu Mei, he went to Tianlan College. Many students came from all directions on the street, and he was assigned to class 18 of the first year of high school. On the big magic playground, a total of 1,500 people from 20 classes gathered, and the opening ceremony began, while also arranging for awakening. Lu Jun stood at the forefront of the class line, glancing at two groups of classmates arguing behind him, and hearing familiar names. Mo Fan, you who came in through the back door with little ability may easily fail to awaken. It's better to give up, so as not to waste the energy of the awakening stone. One of the boys named Xiao Kunsen first sarcastically said. A handsome and chubby boy with short black hair was too lazy to pay attention, while a skinny boy with slightly dark skin beside him became angry and spoke up, Mo Fan, don't pay attention to this silly guy. Wait until you awaken a fire system and show him what it means to look down at people with a dog's eye. Upon hearing this, Lu Jun looked at both. The despicable boy was Mo Fan, while the skinny boy who was called a mud monkey was called Zhang Xiaohou. He was surprised. Although the plot of the full-time Mage was clear, he couldn't remember the specific class where Mo Fan was located. It would be great to know about Bucheng Tianlan, but he didn't expect it to be so coincidental. Lu Jun stared attentively, firmly remembering the appearance of the two in his mind. He was deeply moved. Who would have thought of two ordinary students? In the future, the former would become the strongest forbidden curse and omnipotent god of magic in the world of humanity, while the latter would achieve great success. Unexpectedly, his gaze was keenly noticed by Mo Fan, and he frowned and thought to himself, which aristocratic young master's henchman he was, staring at himself. Mo Fanka was well aware that his childhood affair with Princess Mu had caused a lot of public anger. There was no one in the circle of Bucheng Quan Gizi who did not dislike him and was unwilling to be outdone by others. The two men gazed passionately at each other, causing Lu Jun to feel embarrassed. He was the first to lose the battle and slightly averted his gaze. With this shameless demeanor, he was indeed the protagonist. He knew that although Mo Fan came from an ordinary family background, he couldn't resist Mo's father being a privileged driver. The largest family in Bucheng is the Mu family, which governs various fields. This is just a branch, with its main lineage in the imperial capital. The other party has been living in the courtyard of a wealthy family since childhood, and under the influence of their ears and eyes, they have been invisibly influenced. Coupled with the various hardships they experienced when they were young, all of these have laid the foundation for Mo Fan's wild spirit. Having seen the scenery on the mountaintop, how can one not strive to climb up, never be afraid of big scenes, and never give up easily? It can be called a big heart. After thinking for a moment, Lu Jun casually said, there is no saying that the better your academic performance, the higher your chances of awakening, or the lower your academic performance, the lower your chances of awakening. This is a field of probability, where everything is possible, regardless of status. Of course, parents who have wizards have a high success rate, such as Mu, who is famous for his ice magic and has been a generation of ice mages. He has inherited a strong magical factor and has almost no examples of failure. As the words fell, the three of them reacted differently. Mo Fan looked surprised. Listening to this person speak, it seemed like he was helping himself. After all these years, apart from Zhang Xiaohou, it was rare for anyone to mock him. Zhao Kunsen originally intended to curse at Lu Jun, but he didn't dare to refute the example given by Mu Shi. Instead, he felt proud and secretly pleased with himself. Don't misunderstand, Zhao Kunsen is just a lackey of the Mu family's son Mu Bai in Wucheng. It can be said that he has such a mentality. At this time, the first person in the class team, a handsome and coquettish man, turned around and gave praise to Lu Jun. It was not surprising that Mu Bai, an important supporting role in the middle and later stages, had a little trouble with Mo Fan at the beginning. Of course, the other party's nature is not bad. In the Wucheng disaster 3 years later, regardless of past grievances, they worked together with Mo Fan to escort the entire class to a safe location. Lu Jun's expression remained calm, and he could not offend anyone with a single sentence. His speaking skills were truly within his grasp. However, he sighed inwardly that the gap between the powerful and the common people in this magical world was so great that it was despairing. The absolute solidification of the ruling class, each proud of being a servant of a noble family, caused Mo Fan to be out of place as a normal person who had traveled through a world of scientific equality. Along the way, he was ridiculed and stepped on by countless people. At first glance, he looked very arrogant. The underlying reason is that Mo Fan's background was a servant of the privileged class, and he dared to resist and kill his master. But after careful consideration, what can be done? Take black magic among the 4 major types of magic as an example, any of them. Curse, shadow, undead, or poison. Can make ordinary people and gods die unnoticed. And the police can't even tell that even if a wizard comes, a master will be deceived, let alone let the wizard inspect just a small matter. I am very powerless, offending is death, the only way is to try my best to flatter. Lu Jun secretly made up his mind to become a god of forbidden spells, otherwise he would not be able to live with dignity in this cruel world. End of this chapter. Chapter 3. Magic Awakening. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 3 Magic Awakening. Mu Bai, come awaken first. On the playground, the homeroom teacher Xue Mushing smiled and said that he had great confidence in this student. He was a descendant of the Mu family in Wucheng, one of the leaders of his uncle's Mu family, and also a school director. Whether as a group worker or a teacher, achieving good results and flattery all rely on this. The awakening stone appears in a thick compass shape, suspended in mid-air with a clear palm print. Mu Bai appears calm but nervously places his hand on the awakening stone. Suddenly, starlight appeared on the awakening stone, and these radiances connected into star marks that crawled onto Mu Bai's right hand like special blood vessels. Then a cold frost aura enveloped the whole body, and a transparent layer of frost appeared on the compass. The awakened one is the ice type, truly worthy of the Mu family's offspring. Sleeping Slot, the Ice series is one of the most desired series for magicians to awaken, the beginner magic Ice Vine, which combines damage and control. High school freshman exclaimed in surprise. Upon seeing this scene, Lu Jun was deeply moved. Mu Bai, Mu Bai. Others may not know, but he knows that the school board member Mu He is nominally Mu Bai's uncle, but in reality, he has a father-son relationship. Mu Bai is Mu He's illegitimate son, and he is also one of the high-level officials of the Black Church, an absolute villain. 3 years later, it was Mu He who drove the demons outside the city to destroy Bo City in one fell swoop, and later caused many tragedies, almost slaughtering millions of demons. Upon learning the truth, Mu Bai still stood on the side of justice, righteous and annihilating his family. He came from a dark background, his soul returned to darkness, but acted with justice and brightness. He is considered a classic figure who is 3 times stronger than a whitewashed person. At this moment, Mu Bai breathed a sigh of relief, feeling proud and fantasizing in his heart that the ice type and the Mu family's little princess Mu Ningxue would be in the same magic type, practicing together. Then he glanced at Mo Fan at the end of the team and snorted coldly. The white swan is not something that this toad can touch. The gap will only get bigger and bigger. Thinking about his childhood, Mu Bai couldn't help but twitch at the corner of his mouth. Mo Fan dared to elope with Mu Ningxue, regardless of the consequences. However, children should not be taken seriously, while adults should bear in mind that Mo Fan's father, Mo Jiaxing, was expelled, which implicated Zhao Kunsen and other servant families from the Mu family. Fortunately, they were not completely eradicated, otherwise they would have died in a corner long time ago. Next, Qiu Yueying. Next. Lu Jun saw that some people awakened the Earth faction, others awakened the Wind faction, all of which were included in the 7 major elemental magic factions, with even fire and thunder being rare. Of course, he also saw a very small number of students who failed to awaken, losing their souls. Awakening is not cheap, even for beginners, it costs 100,000 yuan each time, and only schools can awaken for free. The middle school entrance examination is just a screening process. If you can't get into magic high school, you will have to give up the idea of learning magic. The cost is there, not because the country doesn't want the whole nation to awaken. Even Mo Fan, it was his father who humbly followed the path of the school board member Mu He before entering Tianlan Academy. In no time, another girl in the team caressed the awakening stone, shining with a strong golden light that looked incredibly sacred. The light and shadow effects crushed the others. However, the homeroom teacher Xue Mushing sighed and sympathized, unfortunately, it's a light system. Lu Jun felt speechless when he saw the girl in front covering her face and crying. The key is that the classmates on the side are still discussing, mocking and gloating. Light system, one of the most useless systems in the early stage, followed by water system. There's no way, the first level magic of the light system called Guanyao, is just an electric light bulb with no killing power. At most, it can illuminate and even make the demon blind for a while at full level. The 5 major classes, each level can only release one fixed magic, and the beginner level magician only has one skill. It's a useless light type, useless. Even ordinary people can kill light type magicians alone. Lu Jun knew that this was a misconception in the early stage. Small cities have limited knowledge, and even teachers are like this. Every magic department cultivates to the end with the power of destroying heaven and earth, with only rare distinctions, but no distinction between high and low. So he spoke up and said, the light system is not weak. After reaching the super level magic, Holy Judgment Demon Sword, claims to be the strongest single skill. With one move, the same level will definitely die, and no thunder or fire system can match it. As the words fell, the whole audience was shocked. Mo Fan, Mu Bai, and others looked over, clearly hearing this knowledge for the first time. Xue Mushing frowned and said in disbelief, "Classmate Lu, where did you hear this statement?" Upon hearing this, Lu Jun once again remained speechless and wrote lightly, "The library, the Magic Association, is open to all levels of magic in various departments. Those who are interested can search for information online. The Magic Association is the truly highest institution in the world, managing all matters related to magic, from the continental, national, and downward levels." As the words fell, the girl was pleasantly surprised, reignited her fighting spirit, and repeatedly thanked her. Many young girls in the class had a look of admiration in their eyes. Xue Mushing, as a teacher, was educated by his students and couldn't help but say, "You know it's a super level. How many people in the world can reach a super level? I've led so many classes, and it's difficult to even get a mid-level." "That's right, there is no useless magic department, only useless mages," is purely a fallacy, absolutely not implying anyone. Without the early stage, where did the late stage come from? But Lu Jun was too lazy to give face to these mediocre magic teachers, and calmly retorted, "Don't you know that the first level of the light system is not without power, just without the right medicine? Dark magic is in front of the light system, killing one by one at the same level. The ancient capital of our country has suffered from the calamity of the undead empire, where light magic is the most popular. The ancient capital, also known as the Blue Star of the past life, is the ancient Chang'an, the capital of several dynasties. Originally, many tombs were buried, but when it comes to the magical world, it has become the world of undead demons. As is well known, the relationship between the undead and the 20-year light web text thunder cannot be shaken. Xue Mushing dared not speak, as he felt his knowledge being completely overwhelmed by this student. Mo Fan and Zhang Xiaohou opened their eyes and whispered, "Who is this guy? How could he pretend to be stronger than Mu Bai?" Finally, it was Lu Jun's turn. He took a deep breath and felt a little nervous. His awakened talents and magic skills were related to his future plans. "I hope you can give him some strength, otherwise he will have to be a spectator in the face of great difficulties in the future." Buzz, buzz. Quickly, Lu Jun closed his eyes and his spiritual world was empty and pitch black, with nothing at all. At this moment, a warm magical energy was transmitted from his hand, flowing straight into his mind along his arm. Then, as if possessing some kind of magical power, a sudden drizzle fell in my own void of spiritual world. Normally, with closed eyes, one cannot see anything, while magical energy intuitively manifests the spiritual world. Lu Jun saw a small speck of stardust emerging from his emptiness, which was incredibly dim compared to the entire pitch-black universe. It was as small as dust, shining with a blue radiance. Blue stardust, what he awakens is the water system, as for the rest red stardust represents the fire system. The blue starry dust represents the wind system. Brown starry dust represents the earth series. The golden stardust represents the light system. Purple stardust represents the thunder series. Just as Lu Jun thought it was about to end, the next moment, another magical power was transmitted from the awakening stone, and he immediately became ecstatic. He was born with dual lineages. No. It is highly likely to be a dual system of each order. End of this chapter. Chapter 4. Western White Tiger, Gold Series. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 4 Western White Tiger, Gold Series. Both innate dual lineages and each level of dual lineage are innate talents, but their meanings are completely different. The former only awakens 2 magic levels at the initial level, while the later levels return to normal, 1 level per level, which means there is an additional level compared to others. And for each level of dual lineage, reaching the peak of cultivation requires an additional 5 lineages, which is not a simple addition or subtraction, but a product. Lu Jun's guess is indeed correct. The fusion of parallel time and space is not just about time travel, but also about the superposition of 2 origins, resulting in double happiness. Mo Fan is like this, and he is also like this. On the big playground, he couldn't bear to be excited. The magical world was too dangerous, and even the biggest hang could not be too big. For example, Mo Fan, the future is full of forbidden spells, and the human race is the strongest, but in front of other demons, he is at most in the top 20. Antarctic demons, Pacific demons, Atlantic demons, Kunlun demons, Ancient Capital demons, North Asian Snow Plains demons, Egyptian demons, Sahara demons, Amazon demons. One by one, they were terrifying, until the protagonist Mo Fan was invincible and could not solve any of them. Just before Lu Jun could be pleased, the white tiger pendant hanging around his neck bloomed with platinum radiance. A sharp force shattered the energy transmitted by the awakening stone, replacing him and entering the spiritual world of his mind along his arm. Buzz. A sharp platinum radiance flashed through the spiritual emptiness, like an unparalleled flying sword, opening up the world and creating a shimmering platinum starry dust out of thin air. So, in the dimly lit universe, 2 pieces of starry dust, blue and platinum, shine against each other. Lu Jun was caught off guard by this mutation and was stunned. With his knowledge, it was difficult to determine what type of platinum stardust suddenly appeared. The summoning type of white and dimensional magic was somewhat similar, but with a brighter luster. Soon he received the answer, and a series of messages came from the white tiger pendant around his neck. This new magic series, called the Gold Series, had never appeared before in the original timeline. The gold of gold, wood, water, fire, and earth should be arranged into the category of elemental magic according to their classification. That's right, the western sky white tiger is metallic, and the planet's metallic material accounts for the vast majority. There are a lot of magic metals in the original timeline, even Thunder series, but not a single metal series. It's really strange. The woody system, also known as the botanical system, is classified under the category of white magic. Lu Jun managed to stabilize his mind and observed some unexpected things. Externally, the whole class saw him surrounded by a hazy mist, while the gene style was not exposed due to introverted behavior. Seeing this, Lu Jun glanced around and breathed a little sigh of relief. Well, this is great. The most painful thing in the magical world is the human race infighting. People with good talents are either targeted by dark forces such as the Black Church and aristocratic families, or treated as heretics by individual totalitarian magic associations, let alone Lu Jun, who is a unique member of the Gold family. Both the Natural Dual series and the Gold series are minefields. It's like both black and white are pushing genius to death, no wonder we can't stop the demons. On the side, Shui Mushing saw that Lu Jun's face had changed and comforted him. The water system is average, and the beginner magic, water control, has good defense. I don't know why, as soon as he spoke, he had a certain premonition that he would be slapped in the face. As expected, Lu Jun smiled and said, the water system is good. The coastal areas are full of sea monsters, and the Magic City and Hangzhou are not far from here. The water system is quite popular. He carried a hint of joy in his heart, knowing the future trend, and the water and ice systems were the version answers. In another decade, the glaciers in Antarctica will melt, global sea levels will rise, coastal areas will be almost submerged, and a large number of marine demons will invade. Mo Fan will at most delay, on the one hand, due to strength issues, and on the other hand, he will become an old duck. And he awakened the water system, and in the future, the coastal areas are almost covered with gold, with a large amount of water resources emerging and a high chance of survival. However, at the beginner level, it is not a good skill, and one needs to master a half control and half destruction skill in the middle level. Among the 7 major elemental systems, only the thunder and fire systems, from beginner level to super level, are all destructive skills. Destruction is the most intuitive manifestation of extraordinary power, and no wonder it is the most popular. The output position of the Big C core is very impressive, and everyone is competing for it when playing games, let alone in reality. In the later stage, Lei Huo called me Dad. Lu Jun encouraged himself and thought about hoping to surprise him with a gold system that had never appeared before. Not long after, the whole class was basically awakened, and Zhang Xiaohou still awakened to the wind type, which is an excellent evasion magic type. The last one was Mo Fan's turn, and when he woke up, Lu Jun took a special glance. Sure enough, it was first a flickering purple thunder, followed by a fiery red light. Born dual lineage, violent thunder fire. However, this scene was overshadowed by the awakening of a student named Su Zhaoting from the neighboring class, who was a member of the Lei family. Everyone went to see the neighboring class and happened to overlook Mo Fan. Thunder type, only one person has a chance to awaken from 1,000 people, making it the top element type. I envy it so much. Woo, kill me. Why am I from the water system? Why didn't you give me the thunder system? Don't stop me, I'm going to the rooftop. The corpses below are already covered in light. Lu Jun shook his head. Lucky enough, his current actions are not enough to trigger the butterfly effect, and the future is uncertain. But in this magical world, prior knowledge is useless. It all depends on one's own cultivation. Opportunities may come and go, and different types of magic cannot be used. Secondly, in the face of disasters, everyone is equal. Mo Fan looked left and right, only to find that no one noticed. His face turned black at first, and the opportunity to pretend like this passed. Then, after some thought, he realized that it was better not to expose the innate dual lineage. But as he scanned, he suddenly saw Lu Jun staring straight at him, his expression stiffening. When the homeroom teacher reacted, he looked at Mo Fan with joy and said, "The fire department, second only to the thunder department's magic department, probably only about 30 or 40 people in the whole school have awakened." Mu Bai and Zhao Kun had an unpleasant expression on their faces. "This kid is so lucky," and their good brother Zhang Xiaohou jumped up and mocked him. However, Mo Fan was not at all happy. After coming down the steps, he walked up to Lu Jun, hooked his hand on the other person's shoulder, and walked to the corner. "Classmate Lu, you haven't seen anything, have you?" Upon hearing Mo Fan whispering in his ear, Lu Jun felt a bit amused. He glanced at the small black loach pendant hanging around the other person's neck, the size of a little thumb, which was inconspicuous, but on the surface, he said mercilessly, "Call me brother." "Brother, brother." Mo Fan's thick-skinned face didn't feel at all, he said in a loud voice. "Call daddy." Upon seeing this, Lu Jun casually said it, but Mo Fan didn't hesitate to blurt it out. He was surprised and said, "Hey, you really want to scream?" He underestimated Mo Fan's level of shame. Mo Fanja smiled and said, "Brother, don't say anything. I'm not interested in chewing my tongue." Lu Jun shook Missouri Fan's claws off his shoulders and said calmly, "As long as you don't expose yourself, I will never say anything. Moreover, your situation is called innate talent." Mo Fan was confused and said, "Born with talent." "That's right," Lu Junkie said, "there are always some people in the world who have extraordinary talents, and magic is no exception. There are many innate talents, and you are just one of them. You know, Mu Ningxue from Bucheng has a natural talent and was admitted to the Imperial University ahead of schedule." "That's it." Mo Fan fell into deep thought, his originally arrogant attitude slightly restrained, and then sighed. He couldn't let go of the innocent stinky girl she used to be when she was a child. He also temporarily believed in Lu Jun's words, and if he didn't believe it, there was nothing he could do. Moreover, he felt that the other party knew a lot, and knowledge was also a form of strength, worth making friends with. After awakening, each class returned to teaching. Lu Jun really didn't intend to expose it, it didn't benefit him much, and he even offended people. Secondly, he longed for Mo Fan to grow up safely. To be honest, facing future disasters, even a dozen people like him were not enough. A moment later, under the guidance of the homeroom teacher, Lu Jun practiced magic for the first time. The skills of the Gold series are original, and the protagonist is unique in this series. Everything else is based on the original work, and the performance of these skills is basically set according to the framework of the original work, with absolute balance. It can be regarded as the protagonist's golden finger. End of this chapter. Chapter 5. Basic Gold Magic. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 5. Basic Gold Magic. The release of magic consists of only 3 simple steps. Firstly, meditation. Secondly, control. Thirdly, release. As the name suggests, meditation is to increase spiritual power and star dust magic power, improve cultivation, and control the arrangement of stars, and finally release magic according to a fixed casting template. Lu Jun was immersed in the spiritual world, with 2 starry dust patches of blue and platinum shining brightly, each with 7 brilliant stars floating and sinking. Stardust, meaning the dust of stars, is insignificant in the vast spiritual world of a beginner mage's cultivation, and is a very appropriate title. A series of stars and dust, with 7 sub-stars, can cast spells by connecting them into a star orbit. As a mid-level magician, the stardust transforms into a nebula, containing 49 stars. To cast a spell, 7 star orbits are required to form a star map. In the world of magic, casting before advanced levels is extremely rigid, with only one spell per level in each series. With only one skill from a beginner mage, forming a team can give full play to their respective strengths. By completing 2 intermediate levels, for skills will be slightly more abundant. Alternatively, relying on external forces, there is a saying about magic tools, which is equivalent to equipping each individual with magic treasures. However, magic tools have great limitations and can only be activated once within a period of time, whether it is the attacking slaying magic tool or the defending shield magic tool. That's why innate talents are so precious. They come with their own eerie abilities, followed by spirit and soul seeds. Refining can greatly enhance the power of this series. Lu Jun shook his head and muttered to himself, the so-called spirit species and soul species are similar to the flow of fighting against different fires. Only the element system has the concept. When an ordinary person casts a spell, the water system is ordinary water, the fire system is ordinary fire, and the thunder system is ordinary thunder, without any special effects or strong power. Refining spiritual and soul seeds, mastering different fires and waters, and wielding power that can reach several streets of the same level. However, this thing is quite expensive, and only mid-level ones can accommodate spirit seeds, while higher-level ones can accommodate soul seeds. Above the spirit seeds are soul seeds, which is a bit far away now, unless innate talent is to master spirit seeds. At this moment, Lu Jun ignored the stardust of the metal system and instead focused on the stardust of the water system. After careful consideration, he decided to focus his energy on the water system, because the metal system cannot see light, and without the template of basic magic, it is impossible to control the stars. Buzz, buzz. Just when Lu Jun's thoughts touched the water system stardust, the white tiger pendant hanging around his neck trembled, and the information came to his mind. His face was pleasantly surprised, and it turned out to be the star orbit arrangement of the first-level magic of the gold system. You know that opening up a gold series cannot be left unattended by me. Undoubtedly, the white tiger pendant is also a magical tool with a high level and special abilities. Although the issue of gold magic has been resolved, Lu Jun still honestly practiced water magic, which is a matter of school assessment. For his first time practicing, his idea was to excavate in the blue starry dust. The 7 deep blue stars were originally quite quiet, but when outsiders arrived, they instantly became irritable, each tracing elegant paths in the starry dust to avoid their master's capture. For a moment, Lu Jun achieved nothing, not even catching a water star. This is normal, as each magical element has a unique temper and needs to learn to get along before speaking. However, ordinary people often need about a year to successfully release basic magic, which is considered excellent. Returning home from school, Lu Jun was physically and mentally exhausted. Ordinary people can meditate for 5 hours, but if they control the stars, it will only take 2 hours, causing severe mental exhaustion. When he returned home, he felt a strange whirlwind surrounding the residential building, with strong wind elements spreading, which surprised him. "Sister, I'm back." Lu Jun walked into the living room and shouted loudly. Quickly, he saw Lu Mei sitting 3 feet above the ground on the sofa, with a brilliant green glow all over her body. She slowly opened her eyes and smiled, saying, "Your sister and I are intermediate-level wizards. Wind-type intermediate-level, you can walk horizontally in Bo City in the future." Upon hearing this, Lu Jun was also quite surprised. At the age of 20, he was at the same level as a student at Mingzhu University. Even though he was at the middle level, his older sister also spent 2 years honing it. "How is it?" Lu Mei asked with concern, "What kind of awakening has it been?" After hesitating for a moment, Lu Jun decided to inform the dual lineage that they were all dependent on each other. He couldn't believe it anymore. Moreover, he thought of the golden star dust, and to cultivate this beginner magic, he must obtain support from his sister. "I awakened 2 departments." As she finished speaking, Lu Mei was confused, her red lips slightly parted, and her eyes widened as she said, born with talent. Born with dual lineages. The pride of being promoted to the mid-level was completely gone. Wait a minute. She approached her younger brother with great enthusiasm and said seriously, besides me, don't speak out, so as not to be targeted by malicious forces. You can only be exposed when you reach the middle level and have the power to protect yourself. What kind of faction are you? I'm not stupid, Lu Jun replied, water and metal systems. Ha! Lu Mei was confused again. She still understood the water system. What is the gold system? She couldn't believe it and asked several times in a row, until Lu Jun personally guided the exclusive sharpness of the gold series, the platinum magic power, before she believed it. A brand new series. Lu Mei looked solemn as she looked at her younger brother and sighed, brother, you are destined to be a great magician, standing side by side with the founding emperor, Faraday, and so on. Seeing his sister still firmly standing on his side, Lu Jun first breathed a sigh of relief, and then he felt embarrassed again. The basic structure of the magical world is the same as in previous lives, but it has been replaced by magic. For example, Qin Shi Huang was the founder of the Earth lineage and one of the origins of the undead lineage, creating magical wonders such as the Great Wall and the ancient imperial tombs. Finally, Lu Mei curiously asked, what skill is the first level of the gold series? You should know that the magic released by controlling the stars randomly is either powerless or harms yourself. Is it made of gold? Lu Jun recalled the message from the white tiger pendant, his expression inexplicable. The magic name of the first stage of the gold series is called casting tool. As the name suggests, it is to create an object from metal, which can be a sword, a bell, a tripod, a tower, or a mirror, then infused with magic, imprinted with gold-based basic magic, transformed into a magic tool, and nurtured in the gold-based star dust of the spiritual world, evolving with the improvement of cultivation. Unlike ordinary magic tools that can be used at once, gold magic can continuously stimulate enemies as long as the magic energy contained in stardust is not completely consumed. You should know that even the ordinary level magic tools used by beginner magicians, once activated, are unstoppable in the same level. The power of the same level slaying magic tools is even stronger than that of thunder and fire beginner magic, and their durability is just too weak. At most, it is urgent to use them. There is no way out, and Lu Jun originally wanted to survive the awkward period of only defense magic in the first stage of the water system. He planned to create a destruction system in the gold system. Jin Zhe is in charge of Su Sha. In terms of killing power, he has always been the best in the world and is more famous than thunder and fire. According to the description of basic magic, he clearly has this potential. Unfortunately, the metal series does not have any casting tools, and even if you control the Star Child, you will not be able to exert your power. Therefore, the top priority for Lu Jun is to find suitable materials for casting tools, and he can only rely on his sister. Material is the key. The first level of the metal series Stardust can only accommodate ordinary metals, but the selected alloy is good. Setting aside the basic power bonus, the additional special effects will not be weaker than those of soul seeds and innate talents. The casting of the first stage of the gold series is extremely cautious, and hard materials must be used because all the stars have been integrated into the magic tools of this life. If destroyed, the entire system will be half useless. Metal alloy, it seems that we can only rely on a few of my best friends who have been admitted to universities to arrange for customization in certain university laboratories. Lu Mei pondered and asked her younger brother to wait for news. Then she smiled and said, by the way, welcome home. Congratulations on becoming a wizard. End of this chapter. Chapter 6. Mastering Magic. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 6 Mastering Magic. Buchen, summer turns winter, and fallen leaves roll in the wind. In the blink of an eye, a semester has passed, and half a year has passed. Since awakening to magic, Lu Jun has been immersed in hard work, facing the pressure of future disasters, yearning for extraordinary power, the calm temperament honed in his past life, and the desire for fame and fortune have all become powerful driving forces. The world where hard work pays off is great. In the first half of the semester, apart from teaching some demonic knowledge, the school mainly focused on meditation courses with no trivial matters. At this moment, Lu Jun sat cross-legged in the bedroom, immersed in meditation. The white tiger pendant on his chest emitted a platinum luster, and the warm power caressed his whole body. His pores stretched out, as if soaking in a hot spring. In the spiritual world, both the blue and platinum stardust have grown several times, and under the nourishment of this mysterious power, even without meditation, they are growing rapidly. During this period, the white tiger pendant has given Lu Jun another surprise. It is truly a top-level auxiliary magic tool. Even if it is damaged and does not recover to its peak, it still has the same ability to warm up the stars as the Stardust and Nebula magic tools. The so-called Stardust magic tool is a special magical tool specifically used to assist in cultivation. Normal people will become tired after 10 hours of meditation and need to rest and sleep. And even the weakest Stardust magic tool can extend for a few hours, restoring spiritual power. The stronger one does not even require cultivation, and Stardust's cultivation level automatically increases during warm cultivation. These types of magical tools are extremely precious, divided into primary and intermediate levels, from Stardust, to Nebula, and then to advanced Star River. The white tiger pendant itself is comparable to top-notch Nebula magic tools, and even mid-level mages who bathe in it can quickly grow to their peak, let alone newly awakened beginner mages. Wow! Xiaohou. Resolve. Suddenly, Lu Jun's eyes flickered with blue light, and the 7 stars of the water system and the dust gradually took control. Water mist surged around his body, and a brilliant blue star orbit passed by. Countless condensed water in the air converged, forming a water-blue circulation that was about 10 feet long and legs wide, like a gentle silk ribbon wrapped around Lu Jun's body, covering most of the area. The surface was shiny, looking incredibly flexible. Water is soft, but if a person falls from a high altitude to the surface of the water, its hardness is no less than that of rocks, and it can break into 4 or 5 pieces. This is the principle of non-Newtonian fluids. Lu Jun felt that the first-level magic of this water system was similar, and he was delighted to finally master the first-level water magic. In addition to the 5 major realms, each level is further divided into 3 levels. Magic remains unchanged, but as the level increases, it undergoes many changes to enhance its power. For example, in the second level Xiaohou Guardian, Lu Jun not only condenses a water belt, but also several, with almost no dead corners. In the third level Xiaohou cycle, the water belt becomes dynamic, flowing continuously, giving birth and death. Unless destroyed in one breath, it requires medium-level or higher destructive magic. Xiaohou has finally been able to release it. I have been mastering 2 basic magic types, gold and water, for 6 months, faster than Mo Fan. Currently, he should only master the basic thunder seal of the thunder type, and will only master the second fire type, Fire Z, by the end of next semester. It took Mu Ningxue 8 months to master the ice-based beginner magic. TSK Mo Fan, aside from her innate talent, is not inferior to other geniuses solely based on her cultivation talent. Lu Jun pondered, but of course, both of them relied on their own efforts and had no Stardust magic tools at all. It wasn't until the second year they mastered the basic magic that they were assisted by magic tools borrowed by the clan and the school. So it's normal for him to progress so quickly, and this is just the beginning. The help of controlling the Stardust magic weapon in the Stardust aspect is relatively small, and it's only when he improves his cultivation and magic energy that he will be in the period of power. His white tiger pendant is clearly in a much better state than Mo Fan's green dragon pendant. From the outside, it can be seen that the opponent was initially like a dead object, until the second year of high school devoured a school Stardust magic tool, which only stimulated some abilities, equivalent to Stardust magic tools. To reach the level of his White Tiger Pendant, it would take 2.5 years to devour the Earth Holy Spring before catching up. The Earth Holy Spring in Wucheng is a heavenly material and treasure that can enhance cultivation, help break through the middle level, and is also the root cause of disasters, only because it was targeted by the Black Cult. There are still 2.5 years left, and we will strive to make the two departments a beginner level 2 in the next semester. Lu Jun clenched his fists tightly as he stood up from the bed, surrounded by water blue silk and a hazy mist, as if banished from the water. Downstairs, Lu Mei sensed the fluctuation of water elements and saw a young man with black hair coming downstairs. The water blue ribbon gently wrapped around her skin, which was moisturized and looked much whiter. She immediately envied and said, "Just a water-based magician, a natural skincare product." Upon hearing this, Lord Lu was speechless. Magic is extraordinary. Shouldn't we pay attention to his magic itself? The popularity of the Water series is not inferior to that of the Thunder series in the first level. Among the 7 Elemental series, the only one with a defense skill in the first level has to wait until the middle level. Thunder Fire Killing, the difference is that Thunder Seal comes with paralysis control, Fire Seed comes with continuous burning, Ice Type control, Earth Type, Ground Wave, half control and half displacement, Wind Type, Wind Track, is displacement. "You're joking," Lu Mei chuckled and exclaimed, "I didn't expect you to master the basic skills in 6 months. If it weren't for my constant interaction with you, sister, and our deep understanding of your strengths and weaknesses, I would have thought you had learned the magic of the Black Sect." Lu Jun was too lazy to pay attention to his sister who was full of nonsense. He scattered his body around Xiaohou and said angrily, "I not only master water magic, but also the metal magic that was released 3 months ago. If it weren't for the alloy you promised not yet in place, why not have any power at all?" "Ah." Lu Mei became serious and skeptical. "Lu Jun, won't you really?" Upon hearing this, Lu Jun fell silent for a moment and raised his eyebrows, saying, "Don't guess randomly. When the time is right, I will tell you everything. The fewer people know about the White Tiger Pendant, the better, but when it becomes stronger, it doesn't matter. In the early stages, it is actually just an auxiliary magic tool, and later it is the basis for searching for totems. Like those aristocratic families who spare no effort to cultivate a person, the resources they provide are definitely not inferior to those of the White Tiger Pendant, and even several times stronger." "Okay," Lu Mei sighed. She felt that since awakening magic for half a year, her younger brother has been preoccupied and practicing hard, never letting go for more than 10 hours every day. To be honest, at the age of a freshman in high school, this self-control is too terrifying. Coupled with the unprecedented gold system, I think there are many secrets, but she is willing to trust her brother unconditionally. Lu Jun said again, "Where is my alloy?" "Don't worry," Lu Mei said painfully. "It has already been shipped from the laboratory. You are really a gold-swallowing beast. At the beginning, you need 1,000,000 resources. This is also a derivative product for experimental projects to make money, as it is related to my best friend." Lu Jun was also surprised. 1,000,000 yuan is enough to buy a house in a second-tier city, and one can also buy a shield magic tool that can withstand the destructive magic of a mid-level mage. With my sister's cultivation, hitting her can definitely greatly improve her strength. Lu Jun feels a bit guilty, but at the same time, he is deeply moved. Only true relatives can believe you and accompany you crazy. I really threw my family into it now, including my parents' inheritance, death compensation, and the money Lu Mei earned over the past 2 years. I just hope that the power of the Gold series when releasing magic can justify its investment. End of this chapter. Chapter 7. Metal Killing Power. You are listening at novelfull.audio. This translator is experiencing an error, please try another translator. Chapter 8. Practice Test. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 8 Practice Test. Lu Mei decisively refused. The city demon hunting team is not good. You are still too young. Monster hunting is not a child's play, it is a war, and using gold is not enough. It is too dangerous. The magical world is full of demons and monsters, naturally giving rise to activities such as hunting monsters. There are about 5 violent organizations in a city that master magic and protect the city. The strongest, Magic Association, followed by the City Lord Council and other, political parties, military statistics soldiers and other, military, aristocratic families, and finally the Hunter Alliance, in other words, mercenaries, dominated by the power of folk mages. The urban monster hunting team is a semi-civilian and semi-official team, registered in the Hunter Alliance, hired by the official, located in the city, relatively safe, and can handle some demons that accidentally come to the city. It can be considered as half a city manager. Most high school graduates from magic and magic first accumulate experience here, and then step out of the city's security zone to face demons. Upon hearing this, Lu Jun felt helpless. Sometimes his sister just protected him too much. Of course, at the age of 16, a first-year high school student, a normal adult wouldn't let him go hunting monsters. It should be noted that even the outdoor training organized by the school will be in the winter vacation of the second year of high school, and Mo Fan will only intern in the city demon hunting team during the summer vacation of the approaching third year of high school, intentionally putting on makeup to show off his old age. Their success is not without reason, they belong to the big shots who secretly study during summer and winter vacations. However, Lu Jun is not bad either, opening the book 1.5 years in advance. He decided to persuade his sister first. You have also seen the power of the gold series. You cannot give up on it just because of choking. There is no invincible magic series, and if there are advantages, you must accept its disadvantages. Moreover, the 4 subsequent magic spells in the gold series may not necessarily have no solution, and the prospects are even broader. By incorporating various metals, their power skyrockets. In the future, I will have to face demons. Lu Mei pursed her lips and reluctantly relaxed her attitude. Upon seeing this, Lu Jun took advantage of the heat to strike the railway and said, "My other faction is the water faction. As long as Xiaohou and others block the demon's attack, my gold faction can solve the problem." By the way, he remembered something and said with a flash of inspiration, "Sister, aren't you a wind type? Give me a wind track to boost my speed and provide dual protection." At this moment, Lu Mei reluctantly agreed, "Anyway, under my supervision, your chances of survival are at least a bit higher." Lu Jun asked curiously, "You have been breaking through the mid-level magic for half a year. Have you mastered the wind type mid-level magic, wind plate? What has the second type decided to awaken?" "I have already mastered it. 49 stars are simple and straightforward." Sister snorted lightly and said, "I have awakened to the rock series in the second series. I was not satisfied before, but now it seems that I can save you countless lives. The first level ground wave of the rock series is both a displacement skill and a control skill. When it reaches level 3, it forms a swamp collapse and can stick to demons. Sister is invincible." Lu Jun obediently complimented and then said somewhat puzzled, "The mid-level can already awaken some rare elements, why are you still an elemental element?" "You think I don't want to," Lu Mei said with a hint of resentment in her small eyes. "Awakening only costs 100,000 yuan, not to mention the exclusive guide stone. You spent 1 million, and I can only save some money." After the words fell, Lu Jun felt awkward and somewhat guilty inside. Forget it, the soil system is also good, at least spending money can significantly strengthen it. Lu Mei casually changed the topic and said, "By the way, if you want to join the city monster hunting team, pass my test first." "Ah. What test?" "Follow me." Quickly, the two arrived at the park forest, a spacious area of 400 meters, but with trees standing tall one after another. My older sister was dressed in a white dress, with a tall and plump figure and a beautiful appearance, attracting the attention of countless passers-by. At this moment, her face was expressionless and cold. Next to him, Lu Jun stood with a bitter face. Lu Mining said in a voice, "If you can dodge the dense forest trees calmly with the speed of the third-level wind track and the floating shadow, without damaging yourself at all, and cut off the target leaves, I will let you join the city demon hunting team and allow you to use gold close combat." Her temperament suddenly changed, her fair and delicate hands peeked out, her eyes were blue, and a star track passed by. She dressed in hunting clothes, outlining her perfect figure, and her whole body was like a lonely and cold snow lotus on a snowy mountain. Woo 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 woo. A strange wind swept up in the park, and the trees trembled and rustled. The girl on the roadside shyly covered the suddenly lifted skirt, and the newspaper blew away on the face of the dozing old man lying in a chair, clutching it haphazardly. The ground was covered in dust and falling leaves, and at that moment everything moved. Wind track, speed. Sister Qing drank and mercilessly used only the first-level wind track. As she fell, all the fallen leaves and dust flying in the park moved towards a designated trajectory in an instant. A very special airflow path appeared in the forest, covered and rotating with overlapping red leaves, resembling a blood channel. This track starts from the position of Lu Jun and extends to the end of the dense forest. Along the way, trees are difficult to stop, and they are blown down and tilted by the strong wind, with fallen leaves falling one after another. Lu Jun immediately felt a strong wind pushing behind him, his body incredibly light, as if he could get away with just a thought. Buzz, buzz. His body trembled for a moment, and he suddenly ran like lightning towards the path of the red maple leaf wind, his speed skyrocketing to the extreme. For the first time experiencing magic, Lu Jun's vision was blurry in front of him, so fast that he couldn't see clearly, and he didn't react to anything. Immediately after, black appeared in front of him, which was an obstacle tree on the track. But when he realized it was a tree, his body could no longer react and crashed straight into it. Dong! The trees trembled, and a loud sound sounded. Lu Jun let out a scream, his forehead bleeding, and he fell to the ground, his head dizzy. Lu Mei stopped her magic and had not yet walked over. The uncles, aunts, children, and masters around the park were all shocked and discussing. Sleeping trough, it's a magician. Is that the wind track of the wind system? It's so handsome. A powerful older sister is the most charming. Lu Mei ignored it and walked quickly to her younger brother. Seeing this tragic situation, she felt very sorry, but there was no trace on the surface. Instead, she said sternly, "Did you see it? If it weren't a tree on the wind track but a demon, you would be dead now. That's it, you still want to play close combat." Lu Jun heard his sister's scolding in a daze, but fortunately, the beginner mage received elemental nourishment and his body was no weaker than that of ordinary athletes. He quickly woke up. Upon hearing this, he fell silent for a moment. Other magicians hardly needed this kind of training because their wind tracks were to avoid, pull back a distance, and have the wind magician plan the route without encountering obstacles. Only a few strong individuals exercise in this way, which is a matter of intermediate to advanced levels. But he is different, he needs to charge demons, attack and fight, and must be proficient in mastering without any deviation. If he is wrong, his life will be lost. Lu Jun suddenly remembered a sentence. Precision or not is the difference between slaughter and slaughter. To use a metal system, one must accept its drawbacks. He stood up and said, "Come again." Lu Mei smiled, but her mouth said, "This is just the beginning. I will ask you to step on the wind track, release the water while wielding the long sword, and practice it into muscle memory." Most magicians may not be able to unleash their magic upon encountering demons, as their star tracks are repeatedly disconnected. Those who can cast spells with ease are small city masters. Lu Jun, however, needs to go further and be as stable as Mount Tai. Under the winter sunset, one of the siblings releases magic and the other practices adaptation, causing passers-by to curiously observe and freeze the scene. The original work, Mo Fan, joined the City Demon team at the end of his sophomore year in high school. The outdoor training organized by the school was in the beginning, with some mentioning the end of the sophomore season and others mentioning the half-year of his sophomore year. In order to have a smooth storyline, I decided to schedule it around the winter break in the first semester of my sophomore year. End of this chapter. Chapter 9. City Monster Hunting Team. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 9 City Monster Hunting Team. In an instant, a month has passed since winter vacation. Despite being in the south, the park's dense forests are as bare as the north, revealing a hint of desolation. Magician. Hey, many people have complained about this park, and we can't do anything about it. Why don't you go to another venue for training? I have a dedicated venue here. A middle-aged man in police uniform on the grass bowed and said. It's okay, Lu Mei said with a smile, understanding. We've already finished training. Ah haha, that's good, I won't disturb you anymore. The middle-aged man breathed a sigh of relief and turned around to leave. Lu Mei looked at Lu Jun lying on the ground, panting heavily. Her whole body was dirty and her skin was bruised everywhere. She felt both heartbroken and relieved, as her younger brother's progress this month was astonishing. The abruptness of the wind tracks and the ghosts of the floating shadows are completely adapted, even to the point of hitting fallen leaves with a wooden stick. In fact, with the speed of a mage's reaction, as long as they get used to magic and remain calm, they can quickly adapt. But my younger brother's efforts are also indispensable, basically squeezing out the magic of her wind nebula every day before giving up. She has made significant progress in her style and mastered the beginner magic track with great skill. Lu Jun struggled to get up and took out the ointment while asking, is it the urban management? Isn't it a big problem? Yes, don't move yet, I'll do it. Lu Mei suddenly stopped his movements, bent down and half knelt in front of her, domineeringly hugging her younger brother into her arms. She grabbed the ointment with her delicate hands, wiped it with her jade fingers, and gently wiped away his bruises. At this moment, Lu Jun caught off guard and fell into a warm embrace. He smelled the fragrance of the body and felt the soft and hot face. He looked up slightly and saw the gentle appearance of Lu Mei's pretty face. The accumulated fatigue of the past 6 months surged up, and his eyes narrowed slightly, half asleep and half awake. His heart was pounding with excitement, and he felt particularly at ease. I don't know how long it has been, but after wiping off the ointment, Lu Mei didn't say a word to wake up her younger brother and just hugged him like this. She quietly lowered her eyes, and Lu Jun kept many things hidden, as if carrying a heavy burden. She knew that this kind of action could only express comfort. In a moment, the communicator in Lu Mei's pocket suddenly flickered, and she frowned and opened it. Lu Jun woke up and struggled to get up, asking, "What's wrong?" "It's open now." Sister looked it up and raised her eyebrows slightly. "Your internship opportunity has come for the city monster hunting team." Upon hearing this, Lu Jun's heart was burning with enthusiasm and his spirit was full of energy. He had been practicing so hard for so long for what, not just to slay demons and eliminate them. This wave, the Storm Sword Hero debuts. Lu Mei said calmly, "At that time, you will follow the command and prepare the gold casting tools in advance. When you meet people, you will say that they are the slaying magic tools I have configured for you. Based on their knowledge, they cannot tell that it is a new magic type. The gold series has this advantage, it is easier to disguise as a magic tool, unlike Mo Fan. When Lei Yin is released, everyone knows that he is born with dual series, and he only reaches the mid-level Awakening Shadow series to conceal it slightly, but it cannot last long. Secondly, the gold magic can summon in advance, so that short soldiers do not have to hastily control the stars after meeting. However, the disadvantage is not long-lasting enough. With Lu Jun's first-level star dust magic ability, it can be released for about 10 minutes. Usually, Lu Jun trains by swinging and chopping with a wooden sword. The two of them didn't make much stops, and the city demon hunting team was one step behind, adding to the potential danger for the citizens. Lu Mei used wind tracks to rush on, shuttling through the streets and alleys, startling countless people to look at her. Lu Jun is in good condition. The two types of magic energy are close to full capacity, and it doesn't matter if there are some scratches or bruises. The water-type wizard moisturizes the skin, leaving no calluses or scars no matter how much damage is done, and can also participate. In just 1 or 2 minutes, they arrived at the scene, a relatively remote commercial street with average foot traffic. However, there were often reports of strange gnawing sounds from the sewage system, accompanied by a foul odor. Originally, the police couldn't find the root cause several times and ignored it when there was no danger. Not long ago, 7 or 8 stray dogs died in a nearby alley, bloody and devoured, and were discovered and reported to the police by passers-by. The police hastily handed it over to the city demon hunting team. The sewer is most likely a giant-eyed scarlet rat, but fortunately it was discovered in a timely manner and did not harm humans. Lu Mei breathed a sigh of relief as she explained the matter to her younger brother as she was on her way earlier. Before the two of them could take action, the other 3 members of the city monster hunting team, 1 male and 2 female, arrived together. The man has a simple and honest face, with a down-to-earth and reliable appearance. The 2 women, one with a round face and short stature, have a beautiful appearance, while the other is tall and gorgeous, with a fiery temperament and dyed red hair. You came just in time. This is my younger brother, a water magician, who has mastered the beginner-level water magic. Upon seeing her teammates arrive, Lu Mei greeted them and introduced them one by one. This male mage's name is Su Yan, a beginner mage from the Earth series, and the one with a round face is Mu Yuan. He is a disciple of the Mu family in Bucheng, a beginner mage from the Ice series, and the taller one is Li Xia, a beginner mage from the Fire series. He is responsible for team output. Lu Jun scanned the 3 of them and took their seats, muttering to himself that he didn't remember much, probably not the team that Mo Fan joined a year and a half later. And he can't remember the names of the members of the demon hunting team in Mo Fan's city, they are all just running errands. Of course, in a city with a population of 1 million, it is impossible for only a few beginner mages to manage everything, with a team set up in each block. He suddenly joined, and none of the 3 had any objections. Just kidding, his sister is a mid-level magician, and the entire Bo city is considered a number 1 figure. The city demon hunting team has reached its peak at the beginning, and mid-level mages will not stay in a small city demon hunting team. They can work part-time in a large city and earn more money in a month than in this year. If it doesn't work out, switch to the wild monster hunting team and your strength will improve rapidly. Lu Mei just got stuck in this position. The resources in small cities are not abundant enough, and they all occupy people, unable to support more mages. In the end, there is a high probability that she will go to big cities for development. Although Sister Ming is so outstanding, the reason why Lu Jun did not see a similar name in the original work should be because the novel ultimately cannot reflect the real world of one side. Moreover, according to his understanding, his parents seem to have some connection with the Lu family, one of the 4 major aristocratic families in the Magic City. Li Xia stepped on her cat's steps and approached Lu Jun, boasting in a tone, "Lu Dui, this is your younger brother, a 16-year-old brother. I can do it." As soon as she spoke, Lu Mei became alert and stood in a position to separate the two, warning, "Don't try to think of him. Do you know who broke the law?" The red-haired lady covered her mouth and chuckled, not believing that any young man could resist her charm. She just didn't have a chance for the time being. Round-faced Mu Yuan was shy and didn't speak, completely devoid of the aura of a big family. Su Yan smiled and nodded, saying, "Hello." Lu Jun greeted them all one by one, and they were very relaxed. On the one hand, the personnel had already dispersed, and on the other hand, the mid-level mages were not afraid of more than a dozen servants coming. Not to mention the giantite scarlet rat, which is in the lower reaches of the servant level. Lu Jun has taken a demon class and knows that this is a type of demon who has lived in the soil for a long time and is skilled in digging underground holes. He prefers to live in places that cannot be found in urban sewers. His neck can be extended, and his eyes will release a beam of dark, crimson light that penetrates through this thing, like stray mice, has an extremely fast reproduction speed and strong survival ability. There are always a few hidden in the soil of underground tunnels and garbage dumps in a city. Generally, it only eats human leftovers and will only eat humans unless it is hungry to a certain extent. It belongs to a very cowardly and ubiquitous demon. So when Lu Mei heard the case, her first judgment was that it was a giant-eyed rat demon. End of this chapter. Chapter 10. Abnormalities in Sewers. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 10 Abnormalities in Sewers. In a remote commercial street, Lu Jun took a deep breath and relaxed his tense muscles due to excitement. Using his strength to perform at an ordinary level, it is easy to single-handedly kill the giant-eyed scarlet rat, unless the one-eyed demon wolf of the great enemy of Bo City has the power to serve upstream in the tribe. The magic world is not peaceful, and there are big enemies of demons everywhere, such as the ghosts of the ancient capital, the sea demons of the magic capital. The Bo City is a pack of wolves, and under the leadership of the Wolf King from the Nanling Mountain, the forces comprehensively crush Bo City, threatening several cities in Zhejiang province. If it weren't for humans inventing the barrier, with some kind of heavenly material and earth treasure as the core, emitting a wave of demon fear energy, allowing demons below the commander level to automatically avoid, the monarch level would not provoke them if nothing happened. I'm afraid human living space will shrink by more than half. Li Xia glanced at the dark alley between two rows of tall buildings, where the entrance was blood-stained. She asked, now who will go in first, check the situation, and seduce demons? Originally, this task was supposed to be for a wind mage, who has always played the role of a scout. Lu Mei once led the way, but unfortunately, it is not suitable to perform such a dangerous task after being promoted to a mid-level. Behind the team, using powerful mid-level magic is the key. Su Yan shook his head and said, why don't I do it? The earth waves are of the early stage and their movement speed is not slow. Just as Lu Mei refused and planned to go to battle on her own, Lu Jun spoke up and volunteered, sister, I'll come. As the words fell, a few members of the team frowned, and Li Xia joked, can you do it, little brother? Lu Mei looked at Lu Jun's firm gaze and remembered the effect of the training. She said sternly, okay, it's you. The other three were slightly surprised. They thought the Marine Corps brought their younger brother here to broaden their horizons and improve their qualifications. They didn't expect a 16-year-old boy to really shoulder such a heavy burden. Wandering on the edge of danger, even a slight mistake can lead to death. Mu Yuan and others advised, Captain, children just love to show off, they can't take it seriously. Since we are here to hunt demons, we will treat everyone equally. If I let him come, it will be because his strength is stronger than yours and his self-protection ability is more sufficient. Lu Mei calmly said that her younger brother's persistence during this period has moved her. In her opinion, he already possesses the elements of a strong person, talent and perseverance, and the rest is to gradually hone his experience and mentality. Her words are difficult for the team members to refute. However, when Lu Jun skillfully controlled the star and released the basic water magic Shui Yu in 2.5 seconds, everyone was surprised. Li Xia couldn't set up a channel and said, I'm only a freshman in high school. How could this casting speed be faster than us veteran players? Normal students only reluctantly release their magic at the end of the second semester of high school, slowly swallowing the control star, and being able to release it in about 4 or 5 seconds is considered excellent. Lu Mei realized that Lu Jun's talent was somewhat against the sky, and wrote lightly, I helped him awaken during the summer vacation when he graduated from junior high school. Oh. Su Yan and others suddenly realized that they had mastered basic magic for 3 months during summer vacation, 6 months in the previous semester, 1 month during winter vacation, and 10 months. They had a good talent. Lu Jun chuckled lightly. She has a mid-level sister who can explain everything easily. At this moment, he was shrouded in mist, surrounded by a shimmering blue water ribbon that was about 10 feet long, with a wide curved surface covering most of the area. The Zhenjin heavy sword in his hand had already been summoned for a few minutes, with its black blade entwined with strands of water and fully armed. Immediately after, Lu Jun stepped into the old alley with his sword in hand. His face remained calm, and with his knowledge from books, the crimson rays triggered by the giant-eyed crimson mouse, and the first-level water defense, he was able to withstand at once, and there was nothing terrifying about it. Quickly, he saw tiny bloodstains on the ground all the way to the dim end, and also heard a strange vibration, like the sound of digging a tunnel. Wait, is it that the tunnel has already been excavated? Lu Jun remembered some things. Regarding the butching disaster in 2.5 years, theoretically there is a barrier that cannot be invaded by the wild one-eyed demon wolf tribe. Even if violated, the city will not collapse with a single blow even if it is guarded by a barrier. It is the Black Church that ordered people to dig tunnels in various sewers of Bo City in advance, introduce wolf packs from the outside, and with the help of internal and external cooperation, they were able to break through in one fell swoop. Of course, the main purpose of digging tunnels is also to steal the Di Xingquan, which happens to be underground in the Butching Bank Trade Building. Is there any sign so soon? I remember the first time there was a strange vibration in the sewer. A year and a half later, Mo Fan went to the women's magic high school cafeteria with the city demon hunting team, and 1 or 2 people died. Lu Jun was awkwardly aware that this might just be an underground passage. But he doesn't plan to report it to the Magic Association after dealing with the giant-eyed scarlet rat, because it's a case of alarming the grass and the snake. Don't forget that Mu He, a prominent figure in butching, was protected by the other party. Today, he was discovered in an underground tunnel, and the next day he switched to another one. He may even have acted more discreetly, helping the Black Church investigate and fill in any gaps. Not to mention that Mu He is at least a high-level mage in secret. If he focuses on himself and his sister for this matter, they will all die. And this is not a loophole either. The Black Church is too clever to cover up its actions under the activity of the giant-eyed scarlet rat, and no one can connect without knowing it. Even if the demons here make noise, it's just a rough confirmation of the scope. The sewage system is intricate and the stench is unbearable. No one will go down to explore. Lu Jun pondered that since he knew he was in Bo City, he had always wanted to break through the situation of the black cult. In his view, the tunnel was the key. As long as he blocked the demons surging out of the city and used Bo City's military strength to block the border and resist external enemies, it would not be easily defeated. The best way is to step on more than a dozen tunnels in advance, and destroy them in one go a few days before the disaster erupts, making the black cult unable to achieve perfect results and forcing them to attack. As for how to timing the challenge, it's about a landmark scene in the original work. After winter vacation, you can witness the cause in the 2nd semester of high school. Lu Jun calmly noted down this place, while also thinking of going back to investigate the case file of the city monster hunting team. As long as there are keywords such as vibration and giant-eyed scarlet rat, they are all authentic. He went deep into the alley and suddenly heard a strange noise stop. A suffocating silence spread, and the darkness ahead became deeper, accompanied by a foul smell from the sewer. Then Lu Jun saw a forest blue eye emerge from the darkness ahead, with pupils the size of a basketball. The tumors all over his eyes turned, making goosebumps crawl up. It took a step and half of its body was exposed, with a neck as big as a thick tree being embraced by a person. Its head and neck were completely indistinguishable, with only a basketball-sized eye and a bloody mouth on its head. Visually, the body length is nearly 3 meters, reaching the height of an adult's chest. Buzz, buzz. Almost as Lu Jun discovered it, its basketball pupils were contracting violently, seeming to be condensing something, rapidly turning into crimson. The energy reached a critical point, and in an instant, a crimson light shot out from the monster's pupils. Boom boom. After training for so long, Lu Jun had already developed a muscle reaction. His body was slightly on one side, and a crimson beam of light brushed past him, hitting the left wall and creating a burnt black hole. He sniffed the burnt brown smell of the air, his flesh and blood burning little by little, boiling due to dangerous stimulation, and his face twisted, intertwined with fear and killing intent. End of this chapter.